Hi, and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is How to Unlock Spanish, and I'm Iciar. In today's video, we are going to explain how to classify the verbs, and we are going to explain the different kinds of verbs involving conjugation only in 6 minutes. Please check our video on what conjugation means if you didn't have the chance and you need to know what conjugation means. The link for this video is in the description below. We are teachers and tutors specialized in beginners. If you are a beginner, this channel is for you. So please don't forget to click the subscribe button. Also, please like the video so we know that you are interested in us making more similar videos. Please visit our grammar and learn section in www.howtounlockspanish.com for grammar revision exercises and Spanish tips. So the first thing you should know in order to conjugate a verb is what kind of verb you are dealing with. Is it a regular verb? Is it an irregular verb? Is it an are, or ir verb? Is it reflexive or is it not reflexive? So what's a regular verb? Regular verbs are the ones that follow a pattern. Normally, the majority of verbs follow a pattern to be conjugated in a certain tense. This means that most of the verbs will behave in the same way and use the same endings. Please be aware that regular verbs in the present, for example, may not be regular verbs in the future simple tense. Therefore, for every tense, we need to learn which verbs are irregular verbs, and we will need to learn their conjugation in particular because they won't follow the common pattern. They are a little naughty. So how do I know if it's irregular? Sadly, there is no way to know. For every tense, we must learn the pattern for the regular verbs and then learn the main irregulars. Learn like a list of irregular verbs and their own conjugations. Normally, it is very useful to learn the regular tense and learn the irregular verbs by using them when we learn a different topic. So if we learn the topic daily routine, we will start learning the verbs related to the daily routine. If we are learning the topic holidays, we might learn the list of verbs related to holidays, and if they are regular or irregular verbs. On the other hand, some of the most useful verbs, we may say, are the most irregular verbs in many of the tenses, like hacer is irregular in the present, is irregular in the preterite, that is one of the past tenses. And ir, for example, is very irregular. Ser and estar are very irregular verbs in many tenses, and those are very useful verbs in everyday life. So once we know we have a regular verb or irregular verb, we need to know if this verb is an are verb, er verb, or ir verb. So depending on the tense we are going to conjugate, it is important to know the set of infinitive it belongs to. The set of infinitive is are, er, or ir. And what's an infinitive? So the infinitive is the neutral form of the verb without any conjugation. So the ending is not saying any person, any tense, or whatever. And there are only 3 possible endings for the infinitive. Your verb might have an infinitive ending in a, your verb might have an infinitive ending in e, or your verb may have an infinitive ending in ir. For example, tomar, to take, has a ar ending, which means it's an are verb. Comer is an er verb, and vivir is an ir verb. So depending on the tense we are going to conjugate, it is important to know the set of ending it belongs to, because the set of endings may vary. For example, the present tense does have one different set of endings for every set of verbs. So the endings are going to be different if we are facing an are verb, er verb, or an ir verb. You can understand this better when we start learning how to conjugate, for example, the present tense. So the regular or irregular verbs can be are, or ir verbs at the same time. So the last issue that may affect the conjugation is if the verb is reflexive or not reflexive. What is reflexive and what does it mean? Some Spanish verbs are reflexive. The reflexive verbs explain actions carried out by and for oneself. It's like having the reflection from a mirror. You look at the mirror and you receive the reflection of the mirror. For example, taking a shower. The verb duchar is reflexive when we mean I shower myself. In Spanish, I shower myself will have to be me ducho. So the special thing about the reflexive verbs is that they are conjugated as regular and irregulars and are be verbs, but they will need to use a pronoun together with the normal stem and ending. So, as a wrap-up, to learn Spanish grammar, I need to know what is to conjugate and I need to study different types of verbs. Conjugation means to choose the correct ending to assemble the correct form of the verb depending on the person who is carrying out the action and when the action takes place. And there are types of verbs that affect conjugation. One is regular and irregular verbs, which depends on if the verbs are following the pattern or not following the pattern for certain tense. Then we have the sets of verbs are, ir, which are the verbs that can be organized in sets depending on the ending of their infinitive, and this will affect if they are going to be conjugated with one set of endings or the other. And then we have the reflexive verbs. Some verbs are reflexive. This means that the person who is doing the action is also receiving the action. So he's doing the action to his own self or its own self. So this is the end of the video. Don't forget to like it if this video helped you and you want us to make more videos. If you want to learn more about Spanish grammar or tips, please subscribe to our channel, and you can also have a look to our website www.howtounlockspanish.com, and you can visit our grammar section. Also, don't forget that we do have a book that includes a lot of summaries, exercises, solutions, and flashcards for A1 level or beginner's level. It's very helpful and is very affordable, and you can just buy it through our website, but it's bought in Amazon. It's only about £5 or equivalent.